our Peace Bowl, we affirm our collective hope for peace. And I might add, due to the topic of this Sunday's sermon, love and commitment, may peace, love, and commitment fill your mind, body, and spirit. Please enjoy our gathering music today, Shoshone Love Song, performed by the Granite Peak Singers, and lyrics will be shown on the screen. How beautiful. Thank you, Lena and the Granite Peak Singers. Good morning. Morning. Everyone who is here, and welcome. And we've got some Zoom people as well, 19 people on Zoom, and a packed house. This is a beautiful day. So welcome to Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I am Deidre Schwartz, your worship associate today. We extend a warm welcome to all. We are glad you are able to join us and hope you are in good health. My hope is also that you feel as good as you look today. It is great to be together. It's wonderful seeing so many familiar faces, as well as, I believe, a few newcomers. Welcome to you. And there will be an opportunity to introduce yourself in just a little bit. After our service, we will be sharing coffee and conversation in Davis Hall. Please join us if you can. In our work and ministry here at Granite Peak, we utilize the principles of our mission statement that speak to who we are and what we value. This is our mission statement. We are a compassionate, spiritual community that celebrates diversity, nurtures the personal and spiritual growth of all ages, shares our gifts, promotes justice for all, and serves the world we live in. Abundant thanks to our pianist, Lena Huben, our choir director for today, Hebe Gonzalez. Thank you for being here. Our Granite Peak singers, you sound fabulous today. Martin in the back on AV, and all of our Sunday morning volunteers. You all make this service a great experience and smooth event, and we couldn't do it without all of you. Please now take a moment to make sure your phones are in worship mode. There are numerous ways to learn about the activities and events of our congregation. Info is available on our website, which is prescottuu.org. Our weekly news can be found in our weekly Peak newsletter, and more can be found in our monthly newsletter called The View. Copies of The View and today's announcements can be found on the welcome table in the foyer as you entered the church. There are a couple announcements that I'd like to make, in addition to what you saw on the screen earlier. Lynn Ilstrom and Bronwyn Butterfield have canceled their first drumming session today at 11:30 due to the importance of the congregational meeting after the service. Lynn and Bronwyn will offer their first monthly drumming session on March 16th at 11:30, and beginners are very welcome to join them. Oh, okay, that's, I just printed off the email. Okay, so it's next Sunday, 11. Oh, no, it can't be. The congregation meeting is the 23rd. I was talking about the drumming. Okay.
And there is a meeting today.
Yes, I wanted to, also you may already be aware that there is a congregational meeting today following service. We're going to try to get in here at 11:15, so get your coffee and treats and congregational chat. Okay, all right. There's a difference. There's a difference between a meeting and a chat. We will have a meeting next Sunday, I believe, because that will be the vote. That's a meeting. So today's just a chat. Q&A, presentation, all around the project details. And then, anything else? Then next Sunday, as I said, project voting next Sunday. The Prescott Peace Builders would also like you to be aware that there will be a film, The Milagro Beanfield War, and that will be shown here in the sanctuary today at 1:30. So. We have a nursery in this building for children under the age of 5, and children over the age of 5 are being taught by our Children's Faith Development Coordinator, Sandra Pelosios. And if you haven't been across the street recently, it's great to see the classroom, the kids' playground, and take a peek sometime. They're doing some pretty cool stuff over there. Now, I think Roger wants to go into the crowd.
I just want to welcome any visitors that we may have today. If you're brave enough to raise your hand and tell us where you're from, we don't need to know any more information except where you're from. I have a gift for you. We spared no expense having these prepared. They're very good pens with the church's name on it, so you can find your way back here. Okay, but let's start with our guest musician. You want to stand up and tell us your name?
Hi, my name is Ibis. Ibis. Like the bird, ibis, but Ibis with an S at the end.
It's a lovely name, and we're coming here today and taking Marshall's place. Thank you, and here's a gift from us. Welcome. And you're in Flagstaff at the music school at NAU, right?
I am not.
Well, what qualifies you to be here?
I know a lot about choral conducting.
All right, good. Even better, great, welcome. Other visitors? Oh, here's a hand. Your name is?
Helen,
And you are from?
Chino Valley.
And there's folks over here next to Dick. Your name is Denise, and you're from Prescott. All right. And your name is Barbara, and you're from Chino Valley. All right. That's your sister. All right. Welcome. And she tells me that they still have the all-you-can-eat corn roast in Chino Valley that I went to when I was a child and thought was just about the best thing in the whole world. Here's another visitor.
Greg Maston.
Greg Madsen, welcome. And you're from Denver, Colorado. Welcome. Great. Good to have you. And anybody else? You don't have to raise your hand, but if you don't get a pin. Where are you from?
I'm from Oakland, California, was I born, but I was raised in Phoenix, Arizona.
Good. And your name is Ron, and you were raised in Phoenix. I was too. Great place, isn't it? Phoenix, yes. All right. Oh, you were going to Unity, and you came here instead. Okay. We are different from Unity, but we are welcome. Glad to have you here, and I have good friends who are in Unity, so it's a great place also. Good minister, yeah. Other visitors? Oh, look at this. I'm going to have to walk all the way around. There won't be time for a sermon if we keep going. What's your name?
I'm Marie, and I'm from New Orleans, Louisiana.
Welcome. Good to have you here. And anyone else? All right, well, welcome to everyone. If you are visiting, you didn't raise your hand, we're still glad you're here. I should say very briefly, some con artists got a hold of all of your telephone numbers and sent text messages with my name saying, please give me money. Don't do it. It's con. I would never, ever send you a text message or an email asking you for money. Never, ever. So please do not, just don't even reply to the text message. Just ignore it, delete it.
All right. Well, thank you, and extra welcome to our new visitors. And please join us for coffee after service. We'd love to get to know you a little better. Now, I'd like to share another congregational moment video, and I believe this one is by Bobby Bollinger.
Good morning. I'm Bobby Bollinger, and I'm happy to be here this morning to talk with you about why the stewardship drive that's coming up is important to me. Over the past 26 years of my membership here, I have been collectively on the board for 9 years, headed up several different committees, and currently I joyfully sing in the choir, and I'm the chair of the care committee. Granite Peak is a place where we celebrate life, live out our principles, and take care of one another. I'm reminded every time I come into this building of my memories and feeling enveloped by the meaningful Sunday services that we've had here that have enriched my life and called me to be my better self. We've celebrated weddings, christenings, memorial services, congregational dinners, soup Sundays to send our kids to camp. We've had rummage sales, we've sung in the choir, we've had dances and fun costume parties related to our annual auctions. 3 former members of Granite Peak were so moved by Unitarian Universalism that they went on to theological school and are now Unitarian Universalist ministers. We sent 2 groups of our high school students and adults to New Orleans following Hurricane Katrina to help with the rebuilding. This place means the world to me, and for these reasons, and because I see a bright future for Granite Peak, I'm going to contribute generously to the upcoming stewardship campaign, and I hope you'll consider doing the same.
That was great. Thank you, Bobby. We begin our service in the Unitarian Universalist tradition of lighting the chalice. Our chalice lighter this morning is Art Gorski. Thank you, Art. While we light the chalice this morning, I'd like to read you a poem by Sheila Bowman titled Silence is Golden. They say silence is golden. I believe it is true, because in the golden silence, my thoughts occur of you. You are the flame in my candle that lights the darkness of my room. You are the scented flowers that make my heart full bloom. You are the butterflies that flicker in my stomach all day long, when I know I will be holding you before my day is done. You are the stars that shimmer and shine. You light up the skies above. In this golden silence, it's truly you I love. You are the thunder of the night. Your lightning strikes whenever into my soul that makes me whole and excites my heart forever. You are my paradise, my oceans wide, my mountains standing tall. So in this golden silence, I love you most of all.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempests and is never shaken. It is a star to every wandering bark whose worth's unknown, although his height be taken. Love's not time's fool, though rosy lips and cheeks within his bended sickle's compass come. Love alters not with his brief hours and weeks, but bears it out even to the edge of doom. If this be air and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. Let's stand as you're able and sing Just as Long as I Have Breath, number 6.
Yes.
Please join me in the covenant, which will appear on the screen magically. There it is. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, the quest for truth its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve others in community, thus we covenant together.
As we prepare to take the offering this morning, let us embrace the feeling of connection and community that we have when we gather here each week. Let us remember that this congregation and its programs are supported by your generosity. We also give back to the greater community through our Seeds of Support program, and this month's recipient is the Launchpad. Please read about them in your order of service. To contribute online, please visit our website at prescottuu.org. Please enjoy our offertory music titled May You Always by Larry Marks and Dick Charles, performed by Lena. We acknowledge the generosity of spirit expressed through this generous offering. What is given in love is received in gratitude. Blessed be. Our beloved community is the heart of Granite Peak Unitarian Universalist Congregation. As we experience a time of meditation and music, we will take a few moments to silently acknowledge the joys and concerns of our hearts and of our minds. If there is an event which moves you to a joy or concern, hope or gratitude, I invite you to come forward quietly and drop a pebble from the dish into our communal water as an affirmation of our connection to one another. For those that are new to the congregation, you can form line on either side. There's pebbles and vessels of water. May our joys and concerns, surrounded by the healing communal water of this beloved community, be acknowledged here today. So may it be. Please sing along as you're willing to Spirit of Life, number 123 in the gray hymnal, and the words will also be on the screen.
Robert Fulghum is famous for his Everything I Needed to Know I Learned in Kindergarten essay. He lives up near Moab, Utah, is 87 years old now. This is a piece he wrote in the 1980s about a wedding. So when you hear the word I, it is not me, it is Robert Fulghum speaking. Officiating as the minister in a whole lot of weddings, and usually I managed to get so involved in each occasion that I felt like I was the one getting married. Still, I always look forward to marrying again because most weddings are such comedies. Not that they are intended as such, but since weddings are high-state occasions involving amateurs under pressure, everything never goes right. Weddings seem to be magnets for mishap and for whatever craziness lurks in family closets. In more ways than one, weddings bring out the ding-dong in everybody involved. I will tell you the quintessential wedding tale, one of a disaster. Surprisingly, it has a happy ending, though you may be in doubt, as I was, as the story unfolds. Guests in formal attire packed the church. Enough candles were lit to bring daylight back to the evening. In the choir loft, the orchestra gushed great music, and the mother of the bride coasted down the aisle with the grandeur of an opera diva at a private performance. Never did the mother of the bride take her seat with more satisfaction. She had organized it all. She glowed, beamed, smiled, and sighed. The music softened. The 9, count them 9, chiffon-draped bridesmaids lock-stepped down the long aisle, while the befrocked groom and his men marched stoically into place. Finally, oh so finally, the wedding march thundered from the orchestra. Here comes the bride. Preceded by 4 enthusiastic mini princesses clucking flower petals and 2 dwarfish ring bearers, one for each ring, the congregation rose and turned in anticipation. Ah, the bride. She had been dressed for hours, if not days. No adrenaline was left in her body. Left alone with her father in the reception hall of the church while the march of the maidens went on and on, she had walked along the tables laden with gourmet goodies and absent-mindedly sampled the first the little pink and yellow green mints. Then she picked through the silver bowls of mixed nuts and ate the pecans, followed by a cheese ball or two, some black olives, a handful of glazed almonds, a little sausage with a frilled toothpick stuck in it, a couple of shrimps blanketed in bacon, and a cracker piled with livered pate. To wash this down, a glass of pink champagne. Her father gave it to her to calm her nerves. What you noticed as the bride stood in the doorway was not her dress, but her face, white. For what was coming down the aisle was a living grenade with the pin pulled out. The bride threw up. We have it all on videotape, 3 cameras worth. The mother of the bride had thought of everything. The bride went limp in her father's arms while her groom sat down on the floor where he had been standing, too stunned to function. And the mother of the bride fainted, stumping over in ragdog disarray. What did we do? Well, we went back to real life. Guests were invited to adjourn to the reception hall, though they did not eat or drink as much as they might have in different circumstances. The bride was consoled, cleaned up, fitted out with a bridesmaid's dress, and hugged and kissed a lot by the revived groom. She'll always love him for that. When he said, for better or for worse, he meant it. The cast was reassembled where we left off. A single flute played a quiet air. The words were spoken, and the deed was done. Everybody cried, as people are supposed to do at weddings, mostly because the groom held the bride in his arms through the whole ceremony. If one can hope for a wedding that would be memorable, then theirs was a raging success. Nobody who was there will ever forget it. They lived as happily ever after as anyone does, happier than most, in fact. They have been married about 12 years now and have 3 lively children. But that's not the end of the story. The best part is still to come. On the 10th anniversary of this disastrous affair, a party was held. 3 TV sets were mustered, a feast was laid, and the best friends invited. Remember, there were 3 video cameras at the scene of the accident, so all 3 films were shown at once. The event was hilarious, especially with the running commentary and the stop-action stuff that is a little gross when seen one frame at a time. The reason I say this is the best part is not because of the party, but because of who organized it. The mother of the bride. The mother of the bride is still at it, but she's a lot looser these days. She not only forgave her husband and everybody else for their part in the debacle, but she also forgave herself. And nobody laughed harder at the film than she. There's a word for what she has: grace. And that's why the same grinning man who has been married to her for 40 years, and why her daughter loves her still. Let's listen to our singers with our wonderful conductor.
Do I love you? suggestion.
Golda, I'm asking you a question. Do you love me?
You're a fool.
I know. But do you love me?
Do I love you?
Well,
For 25 years I've washed your clothes, cooked your meals, cleaned your house, given you children, milked the cow. After 25 years, why talk about love right now?
Golda, the first time I met you was on our wedding day. I was shy,
I was shy,
I was nervous,
so was I.
but my father and my mother said we'd learn to love each other. And now I'm asking, Golda, do you love me?
I'm your wife.
I know, but do you love me?
Do I love him? For 25 years I've lived with him, fought with him, starved with him. 25 years my bed is his. If that's not love, what is?
And you love me.
I suppose I do.
And I still love you too.
It doesn't change a thing, but even so, after 25 years, it's nice to know.
Thank you. That was wonderful. The wedding music had stopped. The congregation had taken their seats. The couple stands before me, looking at me expectantly. I open my little black book. No one in the room knows it, but the outline for the wedding liturgy we are about to follow is from the Anglican Form of Solemnizing of Matrimony, published in 1549. These 476-year-old ceremony is a copy of a wedding ritual created at the Salisbury Cathedral in southwest England. And no one knows the original author. It may have come to Salisbury from northern France. I especially like the part where in 1549, an Anglican priest would have said, "Marriage should not be taken in hand unadvisedly, lightly, or wantonly, to satisfy men's cardinal lusts and appetites, like brute beasties that have no understanding." Today, in Unitarian Universalist weddings, you'll never hear this part about cardinal lusts or brute beasties. Religious liberals have made a few changes.
Dearly beloved, we gather here to unite this couple in marriage, which is an institution founded in nature, guarded by the state, solemnized by the church, and made honorable by the faithful keeping of people in all ages, a source of joy to those who enter it and of greater good for our common life. It is, therefore, not by any to be entered into unadvisedly or lightly, but discreetly, thoughtfully, and with reverence.
Looking at the couple's faces, I see beads of perspiration on their skin. Their eyes look out at me, serious and intense. The smell of roses fills the air. About weddings, George Bernard Shaw wrote, When two people are under the influence of the most violent, most insane, most delusive, and most transcendent of passions, they are required to swear that they will remain in that excited, abnormal, and exhausting condition continuously until death do they part.
We depart from our childhood homes, but we do not leave behind our desire for the caring and help of our parents. As the parents of this couple, will you promise your support of their new relationship?
This is in place of the old question, who gives this woman to be married? The old question implied that the bride was the property of the father who was giving her to the groom. These days, instead, we ask the parents for their support. Well, I wonder, how do the parents feel? Are they happy about this marriage? Are they worried? Are they relieved? Are they sad? Are they angry? Perhaps I'll have a moment to speak with them after the ceremony. I will say that they have wonderful children and that they have done their best as parents, which is all any of us can do.
Solemn words and symbolic acts are but the outward sign of what is here meant. A true marriage is a union of lives established in respect, love, and devotion. It is a dedication of each to the other, and of both to the wider community of which our lives are a part.
I always encourage everyone in the wedding party to have a little to eat before the service, to have a little to drink, but to avoid alcohol at least until after the service. Also, it's not a good idea to hold your breath during a wedding service. On 2 occasions, while I was conducting the service, people have fainted. I wonder whether it's a good match. And this sentence is true. One is a psychologist, and the other works for the CIA. I am glad they did not select a passage from the prophet for the reading. Khalil Gibran wrote, "Drink not from one cup, eat not from the same loaf." If they're married, they're going to be drinking from the same cup and eating from the same loaf a lot. When I get to the place in the reading where Khalil Gibran says, "Stand together, yet not too near together," I feel like I'm officiating at a divorce. The reading they have picked is from Ecclesiastes.
For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up what is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to throw away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak, a time for love and a time for hate, a time for war and a time for peace. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. Now is the time for a wedding.
Well, it looks like they're both breathing. That's a good sign. As I look into their faces and into their eyes, I wonder, do they know what it means to make a promise, a vow, a commitment to another person? Are they aware of the deeper significance of this ceremony? Do they understand the nature of this commitment? When we make a commitment to a friend, a partner, a lover, We make a promise, although we cannot predict what will happen. Does the couple understand this?
Will you have this person to be your partner, to live together in the covenant of a marriage? Will you love, comfort, honor, and keep your partner in sickness and in health, and forsaking all others, be faithful as long as you both shall live?
What aspirations and apprehensions do each of you bring to this relationship? What energy and abilities, what wants and imperfections move within your being? Do you know how to both talk and listen? Can you express your feelings? Which is more important, your work or your relationship? Do you love children? Can each of you change a diaper? Can each of you cook a meal? Is either of you preoccupied with status or with money or possessions? Are you patient with each other? Do you realize that your partner is only an imperfect human being with strengths and with weaknesses? Can each of you say the words, "I love you"? They look as if they are an authentic couple who can love deeply. They act as if they are capable of great tenderness. They both appear to have a sense of humor. I wish them well.
Please face each other and join hands. Please repeat after me. I take you to be my partner in marriage, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish until we are parted by death. This is my solemn vow.
I'm a believer in marriage. I'm a believer in deep, strong, abiding commitment. Nevertheless, some weddings I have officiated at will end in divorce. One psychologist claims that after listening to a couple talk to each other for just about 5 minutes, he can predict with 95% accuracy whether they will stay together. As a result, the psychologist is not invited to many dinner parties. When I meet with a couple, I cannot tell whether they will stay together. I wish I had magic words that I could say that would guarantee a successful marriage of every couple. Lacking such magic, I place my faith in the power of tradition, the promise of commitment, and if there is trouble down the line, the skill of an experienced therapist.
Bless this ring to be a sign of the vows by which these two people have bound themselves to each other. Please place this ring on your beloved's finger and repeat after me. I give you this ring as a symbol of my vow, and with all that I am and all that I have, I honor you.
The photographer in blue jeans and sneakers is standing behind me, leaning over my shoulder, taking a picture of the exchange of rings. In my imagination, I hear myself saying, "Bless this photographer whose head I have just struck with this candlestick." The intrusive actions of some photographers most often detract from the sacrament of the wedding ritual. Behind the camera, some photographers perceive themselves as invisible. They appear to have no awareness of how their presence influences the experience of the wedding. But the best photographers understand that a wedding is a holy moment, a moment they should not disrupt with the movement and sound of a flashing camera. They take pictures, but they do so at a distance with discretion. They respect my work, and in exchange, I respect them as creative artists. Their work can be beautiful, catching the expressions on the couple's faces, or a quiet moment as friends gather before the service, or tender hugs between the parents and the couple.
Now that you have given yourselves to each other by solemn vows, with the joining of hands and the giving and receiving of rings, by virtue of the authority vested in me by the state of Arizona, I declare that you are married.
I look into their eyes again. I see relief in the faces of the couple. In addition, I can see that they are a little amazed that it happened so quickly. Months of groundwork for a 15-minute ceremony. I wonder, of the events of the day, what will they remember? The wedding dress, the food and the cake, the aroma and the color of the flowers, the joy and anxiety of greeting old friends and relatives, the bar and the stretched limo? Or will they remember the wedding night, alone, holding each other, exploring each other's bodies as a married couple? I hope they will remember the promises they have made to each other. A wedding is more than a carefully planned social event. It is more than an expensive party. It is a commitment to another person, a spiritual and a religious vow. For me, weddings are not routine. When I conduct a wedding ceremony, I feel an important duty and responsibility. It's not a show or a spectacle, but a sacred religious event, celebrating the promises two people make to each other. I pray for the success of their marriage. I hope the congregation feels the significance of the ritual in their hearts. When the bride and the groom are taking their commitment seriously, it is a profound honor to be part of such a holy occasion. Now we're almost done. For the closing blessing, they've chosen a reading that's commonly called the Apache Wedding Prayer. No Apache had anything to do with it. A novelist named Elliot Arnold wrote the words. They appear in Arnold's 1947 book, Blood Brother, a romantic story that takes place in, of all places, Arizona. In the book, during the wedding ceremony, the couple has their fingers cut and their blood mingled. Blood Brother is the name of the book. Something I've actually never done in a wedding ceremony. The words started to appear in weddings after they were used in a 1950 movie based on the book. And the script for the movie, this is not down there, but the script for the movie was written by a man who was blacklisted in Hollywood as a former member of the Communist Party and had to hide the fact that he wrote the script. They are wonderful words to conclude at a wedding service.
Now you will feel no rain, for each of you will be shelter to the other. Now you will feel no cold, for each of you will be warmth to the other. Now you will feel no loneliness, for each of you will be a companion to the other. Now you are two bodies, but there is only one life before you. Go now to your dwelling place to enter the days of your life together. And may your days be good and long upon the earth. Congratulations, you may kiss.
Stand as you're able and let's sing our closing hymn.
Wake now my senses and hear
our lives be blessed according to the depth of our love, the persistence of our faith, and our willingness to forgive. Amen. Let's say the closing words as we extinguish the chalice. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.